Hey, Hope Culture Church family, welcome to Hope at Home. I'm so glad that you're joining us from wherever you're watching from. Maybe you're traveling, maybe you are in your living room. We're just so glad that you are here joining us. My name is Abigail. This is my husband, Pastor Dan. We're the lead pastors at Hope Culture Church. And, we are just excited to be joining you this morning. And we're going to lean into some reflection, and the format is going to look a little bit different. We're just excited to do some reflection on what God has done over the past year in 2020.
Yeah, I think, first of all, it's exciting. 2020 is coming to an end. So many of you have been joking about this and talking about this for a long time. I can't wait till 2020 is over. And I don't think it's anything magical is going to happen January 1st, but it is something about a fresh start, a clean slate that is so intriguing. And so congratulations. It's the last Sunday of 2020. We've done it. We've made it. And so we're excited to just take this moment and kind of slow down. We think reflection is really important. It's really healthy. We're not going to reflect on all of the hard parts of 2020. Those are easy enough to remember on their own. But we do want to look at what has God been speaking to us as a community this year? What can we take away? What do we not want to forget about this year? What are the important things that we can grab and take with us? So we're going to go through the year, pick some of our highlights, our favorite moments, and just really do 2020 year in review. So let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, we started off the year with New Year, New Pace. That was the series that we kicked off in January of 2020, just talking about the importance of slowing down. We talked about Sabbath, slowing, simplicity, all of these different things around the idea of slowing down and being intentional about connecting with God. I think that's so important. We said that, rest without work is laziness, but work without rest is prideful. That we need to slow down and be recharged by God. And it's not that necessarily we need to feel tired. We just need to go to God in those moments and break and spend time with Him and commune with Him. Yeah. And I think we can't just assume that because our calendars changed in 2020 that we did that well. Yeah. It takes intentionality more than just a clear schedule. We need to intentionally go to God. And I think sometimes the more stressed out we are and the harder things get, the easier it is to avoid this. So all the more important that we need to recalibrate. We need to make sure we're doing this well. And we said that, speed is the enemy of depth. I talked about a speedboat. When it's going across the water, the faster you're going, the higher it goes. And then when you slow down, it sinks into the water a little bit. If we want to be deep people, if we want to have deep relationships and have a deep relationship with God, we need to slow down and connect with Him intentionally.
Yeah, that's so good. In this series, we looked at the life of Jesus in the four Gospels and how Jesus Himself lived life on mission. He lived with purpose. He lived unhurried. He lived a life of contentment because He knew who He was and He knew who He was for. And so I think looking at the life of Jesus was so powerful for us and kind of the practices that Jesus Himself put into place. He lived an unhurried life. And I think hurry is often the enemy of a lot of things that we want in our life. Hurry does not help us have love, joy, and peace in our lives. We read in Scripture that love is patient. And I think there's just such an aspect of that we are missing out on if we're living hurried lives. And so although 2020 has caused us to maybe slow down and a lot of things have been cleared off of the schedule, that doesn't necessarily mean that we used all of that time intentionally. And so I want to encourage you as you kind of reflect on 2020 and as we look ahead to 2021. What are the things you're going to leave behind? What practices are you going to pick up? And what things are you going to lay down and say, that wasn't helpful for me to live the way of Jesus. That tool isn't helping me. The scrolling, the Instagram, the Netflix, the things that we're filling up our time with. I think we want to be people who are living intentional lives, walking in the way of Jesus and really looking, how did He live His life? That's how we want to model our lives.
Yeah, we want to be people who live from rest instead of living for rest. We want to start the week recharged, spending time connecting with God and then going from that place instead of going full speed and then crashing into the weekend. It's a totally flipped mindset. And so let's think about that as we head into 2021. How can we do that even better? How can we be more intentional about that? I think even if you are at the place where you're worn out, you're feeling weary and burdened, Jesus has a clear invitation. He says, come to me, all who are weary, all who are burdened. He said, I will give you rest. Put your yoke upon me. He said, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Yeah. That he's inviting us into that. Let's slow down as we end this year and start this next year and think about what are the practices and things we want to put in place. In fact, we want to give you that opportunity right now just to say, I'm not in a hurry. Yeah. One of the songs that we sang a couple times during this series in January was Not in a Hurry, where it says, I'm not in a hurry when it comes to your presence, when it comes to your love, when it comes to your people. I'm going to slow down. I need that intentionality, that time with God. So let's do that right now as a community. Let's sing that song together.
To your spirit, when it comes to your presence, when it comes to your voice, I'm learning to listen, just to rest in your nearness. I'm starting to notice you are speaking. starting to notice you are speaking. I'm not in a hurry when it comes to your spirit, when it comes to your presence, when it comes to your voice. I'm learning to listen, just to rest in your nearness. I'm starting to notice you are speaking.
It's such a good song.
I
I love Not in a Hurry. It's so good. And then, we were straight into It Is Written right
Yes.
after that opening series, New Year's, New Pace. I liked It Is Written a lot. We had some great conversations with individuals during that time, just talking about, why do we believe the Bible? Where does it come from? How is it organized? Some of those great questions just about the Bible itself. That was a fun series. And then we were heading into March,
Yep.
getting close to that 6-month mark.
Yes, we were. We got to celebrate our 6-month anniversary as a church in March. And then that week, everything shut down. So from the 6-month kind of celebration, the following week we went solely online. So the church never closed, obviously, but our in-person gatherings did. And, when I reflect back on that time, I just really think about how amazing our team was.
Incredible.
Our dream team was like, we've got this. We're going to just pivot with this moment. We're going to reach more people than ever before. And we really did it. We really did. We moved online. We reached more people than ever before because of, the technology and the incredible talent on our team. And I just reflect back on that time and I just see how God was moving and working in our midst, even amongst a global pandemic in a really kind of scary time.
Right. I mean, the team, absolutely incredible, making it possible that within a week's notice, we were able to go online for the first time as a 6-month-old church. Blows our mind.
Amazing.
So we talked about not being afraid that last Sunday in person, because that's right when things were ramping up. And then that first Sunday online, I preached a message called Sleeping in a Storm, looking at that story where Jesus is out on a boat with the disciples and there's a storm in the sea and the waves are raging and crashing. And I just talked about the importance of peace and how do we have peace and how is Jesus sleeping in the middle of a storm and how that can be frustrating to the disciples to be like, don't you see what's going on? Because all of us have had moments in our life where we're like, don't you see what's going on, God? It feels like we're drowning. It feels like we're out of control. And Jesus is there sleeping. And I talked about how we don't need to be more worried than Jesus is. Like, we don't need to be more concerned about the storm around us than Jesus is, because he has the perspective that we need. He has peace. He sees the end from the beginning. And just, we don't need to let the presence of a storm cause us to doubt the presence of God.
So good.
Or the presence of a storm cause us to doubt the power of God. That he's bigger than that. They end up waking him up, and he has that famous moment that we talk about where he speaks to the storm itself and says, peace, be still. And just those powerful 3 words, peace, be still, and everything in that moment changed. I don't think we should let the storm around us create a storm in us. Whether that's, COVID or whatever situation is going on in our life currently, whether it's a family strain or a relational issue or it's something at work, whatever the storm is around us, it doesn't have to create a storm inside of us when we realize that we have a God who is big and in control, who can speak to any situation in any moment and say, peace, be still. This kind of became an anthem for us personally in our house and us as a church, that we just started singing this, peace, be still, because there's something so comforting about remembering who God is and what he can do and how he can speak to any situation. So we want to take a moment and do that together as well. Let's sing that, peace, be still.
Every time I face the waves, I don't want to be afraid. I don't want to be afraid. And I don't want to fear the storm. afraid, 'cause these waves are only waves. I'm not gonna be afraid. I'm not gonna be afraid. And I'm not gonna fear the storm. You are greater than its roar. I'm not gonna fear the storm. No, I'm not gonna fear it all. Oh, peace, be still. Say the word and I will set my feet upon the sea till I'm dancing in the deep. Oh, peace, be still. You are here, so it is well. Even when my eyes can't see, I will trust the voice that speaks. Peace, peace over me. Let faith rise up, oh heart, believe. Let faith rise up in me. Let faith rise up, oh heart, believe. Let faith rise up in me. Let faith rise up, oh heart, believe. Let faith rise up in me. Let faith rise up, oh heart, believe. Let faith rise up in me. Oh, peace, be still. Say the word and I will set my feet upon the sea till I'm dancing in the deep. Oh, peace, be still. You are here, so it is well. Even when my eyes can't see, I will trust the voice that speaks. Oh, peace, peace over me. Oh, peace, peace over me.
So it was a strange time for our church. We celebrated a lot of holidays online. We had our very first Easter as a church online, and I remember Mother's Day we celebrated online.
I loved your Mother's Day message.
Oh, it was encouraging to me. I actually still go back to it. I preached on being connected, staying connected to the true vine, which is Jesus. And really, it's so important for us. It's important in 2020. It's going to be important again in 2021 to stay connected to the true vine, because when we are connected to Jesus, that is where our true life comes from. If you feel like things are out of balance, if you feel like things are kind of wonky in your life, check your connection. Make sure that connection line is clear with Jesus, because that will help you find full life. In John 15, verse 1, Jesus says, "I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, so that it will be even more fruitful." And really, my heart for you, my heart for our community, and even for ourselves is to stay connected to Jesus, because when we are connected, we will find true life. And we need to allow him to prune us, to leave some things behind in 2020, and really to just look ahead to 2021, staying connected, abiding in Jesus.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yes. So this summer, we had an amazing summer. Even though we weren't gathered together, our community was able to really do a lot of outreach. We leaned into the times. As you might remember, we partnered with the Northern Illinois Food Bank to supply lunches for kids in need this summer who maybe wouldn't have a lunch. And so you guys rallied around that. So many of you volunteered to hand out lunches. We handed out hundreds of lunches this summer to kids in need. And I just think like, wow, what a great way to spread hope to our community in that really practical, kind of tangible way.
I mean, I'm sure we gave away over 1,000 lunches. It was so cool.
It was so awesome.
Awesome time.
Yeah.
We also, in the summer, kicked off probably one of the best message series of the year.
I love it.
It's hard to
They're
know.
all our favorites.
We were asking the dream team some of their favorites, and this one consistently came back as one of their favorites.
Yeah.
And it was called A Little Bit of Wisdom. We spent a lot of time talking about Proverbs, and just, a little bit of wisdom goes a long way. What is the wisdom of God that he offers? Our theme verse was Proverbs 4:7, where it says, "Wisdom is supreme. Therefore, get wisdom. Though it costs all you have, get understanding." What an important message. I had so many favorites when we were talking through, what do we want to highlight from the year? Like, I had so many favorites from this series, and one of them was the message on vision. Vision is so important. In Proverbs it says, "Without vision, the people perish." And so I gave us so many P's, because I love alliteration, about how to have vision from God. I said vision takes people. We need to be ready to participate in what God's calling us into. Like, he's the king of kings, and we're working for him. Like, I used a coaching metaphor, like he's the coach. We need to get ourselves into the game. So it takes people, it takes paper. Habakkuk says, God commanded him to write down the vision, write down what God is speaking to you. We need perspective. Our vision has to be bigger than us. If it's just us, if it's something that we could do on our own, that's not a vision from God. That's just a goal that we set for ourselves. We need a big picture vision, a big perspective. We need to be patient. Vision comes in God's timing. Sometimes we get frustrated that it's not coming at the speed or the pace that we wanted, but we need to be patient and wait upon God, and trust in his promise that if he said it, he'll do it. If it's something he's truly speaking to you, it will unfold in his timing. But at the same time, not letting patience be an out or like an excuse to not do anything. We also need to pursue the vision. We need to do something about it. We need to get into action. We need to pray and fast about it. God, if this is truly from you, would it unfold? Would you do it in your timing? Would you form in me what I need in order to do the thing you're asking me to do? And then the last one was, is it proven? Is this something that is truly from God? Have you asked other people about it? Have they confirmed that this is from the Lord? And vision's so important because vision inspires us to do what God is asking of us, what he is already doing. We're partnering with him in something bigger. And that's why for us, vision is so important for us individually as members of the church, but also for us as a church as the whole, to be like, God, where are you leading us? What are you already doing in our community that you want us to be a part of? Because we don't want to play church. We aren't just about, Sunday, come, go, sing, that sort of thing. We are a part of a movement.
That's right.
Of God. We want to be part of seeing his kingdom come and his will be done on earth as it is in heaven. We're passionate about seeing the things that God has spoken to us come to fruition. Yes. Vision is so important. Maybe as we're heading into the new year, 2021, it's a good time to seek God. Yeah. God, what is your vision and plan for me? What is your 2021 vision? Like, maybe you have a word, a phrase, an idea, a picture. Write it down.
Yeah.
Seek God for that thing.
So good.
I also love during the series, you talked about contentment. Yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah, I talked about cultivating a life of contentment. And really, I just talked about 3 different things that we can do to cultivate contentment in our lives. And I think this is a good thing for us to carry into 2021. 3 things you can do to cultivate a life of contentment is, first one is gratitude. Just being thankful, having that gratitude really helps live content in your life. Because when you look at all the things that God has blessed you with, maybe a job, a family, a roof over your head, his provision, whatever it is, when you have that heart of gratitude, your heart is also connected to contentment. And I think that's so important. The second thing that we can do to cultivate contentment is to live on mission. And that's really where that vision comes in. When we have a vision for our future, and it's not just a vision that we make up, it's a God vision. When we have a vision that God has given us for our lives, it helps bring contentment because we know that we're living on purpose. We were created for purpose. We're living on purpose, and that's really important to have a life of contentment. And the third thing is keeping God your source. It's staying connected to that vine. It's making sure that he's your number one and that you're going back to him. You're seeking his face. You're spending time in prayer. You're spending time in the word. You're making sure God is your number one source. And so those three things really help us as we live a life of contentment. I think that the happiest people that I know are the ones who have vision for their life. I think the people who are most content with their life are the ones who are going somewhere with Jesus, because when you have a mission for your life, there's a peace that comes with that surpasses understanding. So.
Yeah, and it's hard because vision leaks. Like, we lose passion, we lose contentment. We don't naturally hold those things. Like, unless we're intentional about keeping those in front of us, they slowly drift. We drift from those things. And my favorite message of the entire year, I'm allowed to have favorites, right? Like, this was my favorite message of the year. It spoke to me the most while I was writing it. I've watched it since. Like, it so spoke to me. It was a message called Remember to Remember. The importance of not forgetting what God has done in your life. And I talked about in Joshua how they had just crossed the Jordan River, and God told them to take these stones of remembrance, and build this altar and just use it as a teaching opportunity for them and their families, and as something that would serve to help them remember what God has done. The importance of remembering what God has already done in your life gives you hope and confidence that he will do it again. It doesn't matter how many things in the world change around you if we trust in an unchanging, unfailing, consistent God. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And if he's done it before, he can do it again.
Amen.
Revelation says that, the testimony of Jesus Christ is the spirit of prophecy. And what that's saying is that, what he's done, he can do again. Like, it's a prophetic statement. What God has done in the past, he will do again. It's so important to remember, what has God done in your life? What has he done in your life this year? We want to spend this time reflecting, and you can start to see this theme weaving throughout all these messages. Is we need to slow down. We need a healthy pace to connect with God. We need to trust him, to remember that he is our source. He is our vine, that everything we have is from him. We need a vision for our life to keep us moving forward, to keep us content. And we need to remember that if he's worked in our life before, he's going to do it again. We can hold on to hope. We need to remember that no matter what is happening, what other things seem to get in our way and try to stop us, that God is unstoppable.
That's right.
That he won't be stopped. There's nothing that will stop him from accomplishing his plans and purposes in your life, in my life, in our church, in our community, that we serve an unstoppable God.
Amen.
We need a little praise break.
break.
No, so we're excited. We're actually going to stop right now and sing Unstoppable
Let's do it.
God together.
shout your praise forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Nothing shall be impossible. Your kingdom reigns unstoppable. We'll shout your praise forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Nothing shall be impossible. Your kingdom reigns unstoppable. We'll shout your praise forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Nothing shall be impossible. Your kingdom reigns unstoppable. We'll shout your name forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done.
Our God is unstoppable. There's nothing that can happen that can stop what God is doing. And as I reflect, so here we are, we're in the fall. We were in person for 6 months, online for 6 months, and then we were actually able to gather together to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. So it was exactly 6 months online, and we celebrated big. We are so thankful for what God did in the first year of our church, and we celebrated with some pizza. We were so grateful to see faces again and to be together, even though it looked a little bit differently. And God has done some incredible things in the past year.
I loved it. We came back, we celebrated, we kicked off a series called For the Culture,
So good.
and we talked about how we will do anything to reach people, because at this point, we're fired up. We've slowed down, we've connected with God. We have a vision for us in our church, and how we just want to reach people. We talked about those guys who lowered the man through the roof, and how they would do anything to get Jesus in front of their friends and their friends in front of Jesus, and how we want to be those types of people, and we need certain cultural values to do that. We talked about a whole bunch of things. We talked about unity, the importance of being unified, and how Jesus prayed that the world may see that we are one as he is one, so that the world may know him. And so unity is so important. We talked about serving. If you're too big to serve, you're too small to lead. If serving is beneath you, leadership is beyond you. We love being servant leaders in our church. What else did we talk about? We talked about
so many things. We talked about community. We talked about integrity. I loved your talk on integrity. We talked about prayer. We want to be a community that prays really well for each other and for the things happening across our world. I loved your talk on community. I think as I reflect, we have a strong community here. You guys are really for each other. I heard incredible stories of you guys bringing meals to one another, sharing toilet paper with each other. We just were all in it together. And I think that's something that we do really well. It's definitely something we value at Hope Culture Church. And so we talked about that in our For the Culture series.
Yeah, it was a fun series. I really enjoyed talking about what we hold as valuable in order to reach our culture. And obviously, we hold hope as valuable, because we want to bring hope to our culture through a culture of hope. But, it's just been a fun year, even though it's been so hard. It's been hard for so many people in so many ways, and we don't want to make light of that. But we do want to slow down and just think about, what has God been speaking to us? What has he been doing in the midst of it? How have we individually grown? And I think reflection is so important, just to see cohesively, what has God been speaking to us as a community? I hope it's been encouraging to you, inspiring to you. Maybe you heard one of those things that we highlighted and you wanted to go back and listen to that message. We encourage you to do that. Let us know what your favorite series was or your favorite message was.
Type it in the chat.
Type it in the comments. Let us know. We'd love to hear that from you. And just what has stood out to you this year? What is something God's been doing in your life? And as we transition into 2021, we're full of expectancy. We're excited. We're kicking off a new series next week, January 3rd. We're going to talk about identity and how important it is to see yourself the way God sees you. It's going to be a series called The Real Me. I'm so excited for it. What else? We're also kicking off 21 days.
21 days of prayer and fasting. We're going to start that the first Sunday of the year. And we're really excited about really leaning in. We're going to lean in and pray like we've never prayed before. And so I hope that you prepare your hearts for that. As a community, we're going to spend 21 days to seek God's face, to really seek vision, get that mission, get that vision that God has for your life. And we're going to pray and fast together just as a community. And I'm excited about it.
Yeah, Abigail and I spent some time praying and fasting about this next year and what God has for us. And we've just had a burden for discipleship and a burden for evangelism. We want to grow deeper in order to be able to reach farther. So we really believe that's what 2021 is going to be marked by. We think we're going to grow as a church. We're going to grow in our relationships with each other and our relationships with God. And we're going to be able to reach more people than ever before, both locally and globally. And we're so excited for it. And it's not possible without you. It's not possible without us as a church collectively doing it, collectively doing the things that God has asked us to do. We've said this so many times, everything that happens is a result of God's grace and the generosity of his people, both in serving and in giving. And so as we end the year, it's a natural time that we're thinking about generosity, and we're asking you to partner with us in order for us to start the year strong, because we want to see people grow in relationship with God, and we want to reach more people. We want to give more to missions than we ever have before. So if you want to partner with us in doing that, we encourage you to give today. You can text the number on your screen, 84321. You can text any amount to that number. You can give online, and just end the year by saying, God, you've blessed me this year, and I want to give back to you. And we're so excited about what 2021 holds.
Yes.
We want to leave you with a little blessing. I wrote this out, and I just kind of want to read it over you and declare it over you as we close. As we head into the year, would you let go of any lies, shame, or guilt that you've picked up? Would you experience the forgiveness and grace of God? Would he wash you with hope and expectation and fill you with dreams? Would you hold on to the promises of God? Would you be filled with love, joy, and peace? Would you experience his presence, and would you and your family be blessed?
Amen. Amen. We cannot wait to see you, to kick off the new year together. Next year, the first Sunday, January 3rd, we're pumped for what's to come. We're going to start a new series. I hope that you'll join us. And as always, the best is yet to come.